Hello and welcome back to the Biased Football Review. I am once again joined by Jake and Cameron. And if the audio sounds a little bit different, that's because we're on Zoom today. So please forgive us for that. So as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, it feels like every game has more on it, wouldn't you say, Jake?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Every game's more
e
important. Every
yeah.
goal is celebrated a little bit more.
I mean, even like I know I'm looking ahead a bit, but even like our game against Arsenal next week, like Bournemouth fans are excited for it because we have a say in the Premier League title race. I mean, we'll probably lose,
Where are
but
Bournemouth
like,
fans at with it? Would they rather Arsenal or City? Or do they not really care? Either way, they just want to
they
get
honestly don't care.
okay. They just want to get the most points they can.
Well, I think if you ask a Bournemouth fan, they'd probably say they'd rather City because that means Bournemouth could win against Arsenal, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think we'll probably start with the North London derby, won't we?
yeah, I mean, do you want to start us off with that? Kick us off with
Um,
that?
yeah, I mean, I expected to lose, to be honest. I didn't think we'd win. Um, and we've got a very big problem from set pieces, unfortunately. Um, I mean, we played pretty well, but we just can't. When you can't defend set pieces, all that good work you do is just undone. I mean, I don't know if you watched the game or seen the highlights, but we hit the post. Van der Ven had a goal disallowed. We had another penalty shout that was waved away. And then we concede two corner goals and a good goal from Saka, to be fair, on the counter attack. Um, but at this level, you can't. We just look so vulnerable from corner kicks, and people are criticizing Ange because he's came out and said he doesn't believe in like a specific set piece coach. He said he's never had one. He doesn't believe in it, which I find strange. And I did some research and I found an article about Celtic in 2022, and it was kind of the same story. It was like they dominate games, they dominate possession, dominate shots, and then they concede a corner or a set piece, and they concede, and all that good work gets undone. But I'm not trying to take it away from Arsenal. Arsenal played well. They've got that kind of they've got that kind of grit now where they never really look like they're going to lose a game. And if they do,
Yeah,
it's like, even against Bayern, they were in the game. I can't remember the last time they were beat convincingly. Probably Villa, to be honest. But
but
even
yeah, it
then they
was
were
two
in the
late
game.
goals.
They had chances. They were in
Yeah,
the game at 80 minutes. So yeah,
yeah, and it's like the two goals that you scored also came from Arsenal mistakes. Like
yeah,
I feel like most
Yeah,
of the goals in that game just came from poor defending or mistakes from the other team. So
yeah. But it's frustrating, and I mean, we don't really have anything to play for now. I mean, I think Villa are too far ahead. I mean, 7 points. We're not catching Villa up. So I think fifth is where
I
we'll
mean,
finish.
you could because Villa still have Liverpool, and I know we'll come on to Liverpool in a bit, but Villa still have to
Mm.
play Liverpool. And you still have what, two games in hand?
Yeah, if we have City, I mean, the way we're not playing well. That's the main. We're just not.
Yeah,
We're just so
but it's
vulnerable
still.
from set pieces. It's
Would
just.
you would you want to lose against City so that Arsenal don't win the league?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not playing for anything, are we? So if we were
I
if we
saw
were
on
going for
Twitter.
if we were going for, but knowing Spurs, we'll beat City. That's what will happen. We'll
Yeah,
we'll, we'll play a blinder. We always play well against City for some reason.
I
But
saw on Twitter there was like a Spurs fan group who were sending a letter to Ange asking him to basically throw the City game so that Arsenal didn't win the league. I'm just like,
really.
this is such a
Is it
Spurs
that
thing to
bad?
do.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they win the league, then it's because they deserve to win the league, right? I mean, fair play to them. You know, I get the rivalry and all that, but you know, at some point you have to say you were the best team in the league this season. You know,
Yeah, and I also
situation.
just like I just think if you hate a team more than you like your team, then I just don't understand that.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it, actually. The hatred, yeah. I mean, obviously, I wanted to see Liverpool win it, and obviously that's not going to happen now. So if I had the choice, it'd be City, obviously. But no. I've never
I'd
seen
still
Arsenal
choose
win the league in
Arsenal.
my lifetime. So, well, I have, but I was
We
about
have,
3, so I can't remember it.
yeah.
Um,
I was like 2 or whatever. So
yeah.
you're a bit older than 3.
No, it was what was it 2003, 4, wasn't it? So I was 5.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Was
5,
2.
well, 5, 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
a long time ago. But
What do you think of the
yeah,
penalty shout before Saka's goal?
uh, yeah, I thought it was a penalty. To be honest, I mean, is that given as a foul outside the box? Probably.
I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Well, yeah. I mean, none of us know now, do we? I mean, it was difficult,
The
but
thing
I
is,
don't,
it's
I
not
don't think
like
it was stone wall. I don't think it was like it's a stone wall penalty, but I think it's a penalty.
I don't think that one's on Mike Oliver either because, like you said, oh, if it's outside the box, it'll be given as a foul. But he
Mm.
didn't see the contact
Mm.
because I think if he'd seen the contact, then he would have given a penalty. But then VAR didn't tell him to go check. They didn't overturn it, even though they looked and saw the contact. So I don't really understand that one. Um,
No, I
I
don't. But
mean,
at the end of the day, that's not why we lost the game. We lost the game because
defending, yeah,
set pieces.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Did you watch the game, Cameron?
I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the full game. I was out, but I mean, Arsenal, from what I saw, they deserved to win. Really, they're just the better side.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
and
think
it's gone.
obviously going 3-0 up, you'd think they were dominant, but I wouldn't say they weren't dominant. They were just they scored from two
I mean,
corners and a counter attack.
They were just more clinical. I think
Yeah,
that's
they were
all
just
it was.
clinical, and they just have that kind of nous, that kind of grit that we don't have, where they just kind of. But then they like we came back in the game. I mean, I don't know how much of that you take if you're Arsenal. The fact that they let us back in. Um,
I mean, I think
And
it was
Romero
just
was your best
Arsenal
player.
mistakes, really.
that's what I mean. I mean, Raya, I think he's got a mistake in him at all times, to be
Yeah,
honest. And
If Ramsdale does that, he gets slaughtered. By the way, just because it's Raya, it's like kind
one
of
hundred
swept under
percent.
the
Yeah,
rug.
yeah, and then obviously given away a penalty, could say that's a mistake, which it is.
Yeah,
But
it was a mistake. I mean, Rice
yeah,
should
and
have
then
checked his shoulder.
but we scored in like the 80. Son scored the penalty in the 87th minute, and we had about 10 minutes to find an equaliser, but Arsenal shut us
Vicario
out.
coming up for the corner.
Yeah, so fair play to them. Like, I feel like if we'd have got an equaliser, that would have been it for Arsenal. I feel like.
The second half definitely felt more like a North London derby than the first half. The
Yeah, I
first
mean,
half just didn't feel like it at all.
coming out 3-0 up, you're not exactly gonna you're gonna sit back a little bit, aren't you? And
Yeah,
then coming out 3-0 down, you've got no choice but especially in a North London derby, you've got to go for it.
but also at that point you've got nothing to you've got nothing to lose like other than a bit of pride.
Exactly.
You might as well
Yeah,
just
if it
go for it.
ends
And I think
5-6.
That's what Romero did. He just took the game by the scruff of the neck and
Yeah,
just
I
kind
mean
of
he was like
he was
for
the
the
most
our
attacking
first goal, he
threat.
was up front.
Yeah, pretty much.
uh, but yeah, not surprising really. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was gutted that we couldn't scupper their plans, but my only hope is City, and so far they're doing the business. But we have got to play them, which will be interesting because you
Should we
just
talk
know
about City then?
it will be us that hand Arsenal the title.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
what will happen is
Should we
we'll beat City, but then Arsenal will lose a game. That's what will happen, and they won't take advantage of it.
Yeah, that actually could happen. I mean, who have they got? They've got us. They've got I'm trying to see. I've got it on my wall. Everton. Where oh and Man United. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
I
the
think
Man
Man
United game
United
though.
could be a potential. I mean, it's away as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the only game Man United will win for the rest of the season.
yeah, probably.
Should we go to United next?
Okay, we'll go to United because
Do we have to?
great game, great game. At least you got a point from it. I mean, Tottenham
Yeah,
didn't even
I
get a point,
mean,
but I mean it's against Burnley.
I mean, it's just when you're struggling to beat Burnley, I mean, it's just such a grim feeling around Man United right now. Um, I mean, there was, Ten Hag would probably say we deserve to win with some penalty shouts. I don't think the referee's got any of them wrong, to be honest. You just can't be struggling against, a team who's at times this season been called the worst team in the Premier League.
But they have improved recently. I would say
They haven't
that.
improved. I mean, they've been in good form recently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big point for Burnley. But yeah, it's a pretty bad result for Man United.
I mean, could you say it's always harder playing the teams that are down the bottom near the end of the season because they're always
I mean, you could, but I think at the same
still
time,
be beaten?
you should, yeah, or at least put in a good performance. And
Anthony
I
scored though,
mean,
that's a positive.
he did that. Yeah, that well. I mean, I think he's probably gone in the summer, but
You
it's good for
think?
him, I guess. I think so. Yeah.
Has he been
I
here?
don't
Is
think
it
that.
1 year or 2 years he's been up? Yeah.
It's 2 years.
Yeah, this is 2 years now.
It's 2 years, and he's got the same number of goals in the last 2 seasons as Ben White has this season. I saw that stat.
Yeah.
So Anthony
Yeah, I mean,
could
I don't
go.
think he's really.
Martial's going.
Well, I
Definitely.
mean, there's
Rashford
talk
could
of
be going.
a big clear out
Big
of
clear
a
out,
lot of
yeah.
players. I think the last thing I heard was Mainu, Onana, and Fernandez are the only ones that are guaranteed safe, and Hoyland, I think, but everyone else, like, they'll listen, which is interesting.
But
But
not even Dallo.
yeah, well, probably him as well. But this is just what the names that are in the story.
Yeah, it's interesting because you said Onana, he's the one who's safe, but like I feel like you said about Raya, that he had a mistake in him or whatever. It's just
He does. I mean, but he also makes quite a few good saves. I don't think he's been as bad
true.
as people will have you believe.
It's the second time this season that he's completely wiped out an attacking player by just completely misjudging the ball. Like he was never going to get there.
Yeah.
But no,
The
Onana's
first time
definitely
he's been penalty.
improved.
Yeah, he has. Yeah,
Yeah, from where he
And
was
Even
at the
he's-
Maguire
start
has
of
improved
the
this season.
season.
I mean,
Massively.
who's better than Onana? I mean, you're talking like the top keepers, and you're probably not going to get
Yeah.
one of them. You're talking like the Courtois and the Allisons. You're not going to get them.
Yeah, you're not getting anyone better.
No,
Yeah,
not at the moment,
yeah,
anyway.
true. I just
But,
think, yeah, as you said, like it's just not. It's not Man United anymore.
yeah, I mean,
it just doesn't.
It's kind of hard to describe because but there's just not. It just doesn't feel like they don't feel like a big team. I think that's probably the easiest way I could put it. And just off the name and the pedigree that Man United have, you still think they're one of the biggest clubs in the world, but they just don't feel like it. They don't play like it. There's not that vibe around the team that they are a big club, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird position that they're in right now.
The name doesn't strike fear anymore. That's
No.
what it is.
No, I mean, when you got Burnley. I mean, even in the week, we won 4-2 against Sheffield, but they didn't play like they were scared of Man United. They were in that game, and they are literally the worst team in the league, and they gave Man United a good game, and it's like that shouldn't be happening. Yeah,
but all it takes
games at Old
could have scored more. To be fair,
no,
was it? No, I think it was away.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was in Sheffield.
Yeah,
but all it takes is a couple of years of good management at the top and bringing in the right players. I mean, look at Arsenal. They did it. They did it in 2-3 years. They got rid of all the bad eggs: Aubameyang, Lacazette, Özil.
and I don't think Man United is as bad as Arsenal was at that point. Right now,
I think it is I think they are.
Mm-hmm.
Man United you're still in a European shout,
Yeah, but Arsenal got to Europa League finals and stuff as well, didn't they?
Yeah, but they also
They were winning FA
twice.
Cups as well in their bad period. What would happen was they'd have a terrible league season, they'd win an FA Cup, and it would cover the cracks, and then things wouldn't change as they should because they won an FA Cup.
Man United's terrible league season, but FA Cup final.
But if they won an FA Cup,
Carabao Cup win,
you paper over the cracks. I mean, they're going to come 6th or 7th in the league. I mean, that's just not Man United, is it? when I was growing up, Man United's worst season would be like second or third,
Yeah.
and that was like a
Did you see
bad
that?
season.
Did you see that before the game, Ten Hag banned some journalists from asking questions in his press conference?
I did see that. Yeah, saw your article about it.
Yeah, it's my first article. Let's go. Um,
The journalists are loving
it's
Ten Hag, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're all loving it.
it's the second it's the second time he's done it this
I
season though,
mean,
because
yeah,
he also did it in December.
Mm.
But like, is that right to ban journalists from asking questions? I mean,
Well,
I
I
mean,
do feel like
I
they
don't
were
think
just
so.
kind of
I mean,
saying what everyone else was thinking
yeah,
about the performance
I mean,
against
it's their job to
Coventry.
do it as well, right? Like you can't.
Yeah,
I just. I mean, it doesn't really give a good image if you're, because you have to be, you have to hold yourself accountable, and part of that is putting yourself up to the media, and
but
to
Ferguson did
just
that many times. He banned
he,
journalists a
he
lot.
did. But I think
yeah, but when you're
sometimes for good
winning
reason
things, when you're winning things,
yeah, I
you can
mean,
get away with
yeah,
that.
it's easy to do it when you're, greatest manager ever and you're winning everything compared to Ten Hag right now.
Yeah, true. Will he be there in the? Will he be there next season?
I think he's gone
I think he's gone.
100%.
No,
Yeah,
Ajax are looking to get him back apparently, and it looks
take him.
like I've also seen that maybe Man United might be going for Tuchel.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that recently.
I've seen that. Yeah, I think that'd be a good appointment, to be honest. But I
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't. It wouldn't be long term though, would it? It'd be like maybe 3 years, four max.
yeah,
I
probably.
can't see
But I
Tuchel
mean,
staying there like
yeah,
10 years, like Klopp or Klopp's not quite 10 years, but
yeah, no, I agree. I don't think. I mean, it's like Chelsea right now. If it doesn't work after like 2 seasons, you got to. I think you got to change it because I feel like 2 seasons is long enough for
yeah. But I think
stuff to
Chelsea are a little
start
bit
slowly
different
changing.
because of
And
the
yeah, I know.
recruitment policy.
Yeah,
I think he gets an extra year because of the recruitment policy and because the team is so young.
yeah, I guess I can see
And
that.
he has got good performances this season. They've been like this, up and down, which is probably reflective of the team, how young the team is. The consistency isn't there yet. So, and it looks like Chelsea might be able to get like Europa League. And if they do that, then I think that might save him.
Yeah, it's possible, but I don't know. I'm not too sure about Poch at Chelsea right now.
Hmm. Then who else do you get?
I mean, I don't want to speak it into existence, but Iraola is a great manager, so
Yeah, he's not ready for a Chelsea job.
yeah, okay.
You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose him anyway.
No, I don't. I don't.
You go on to
But he's only
Bournemouth.
got one. Yeah, let's go on to Bournemouth. I'm
Let's go
happy
on
to
to
talk about
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
A brilliant win.
3-0 against. Yeah, 3-0 against
Although
Brighton.
Brighton have been
Well,
shocking for months, but
Brighton
yeah.
was so bad. Brighton was so bad.
I've seen De Zerbi's got a 30% win rate since January or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think that's a reflection on him, more so the team.
they won. I think they won 6 games since October, or also 6 games since November, or something like that. And like in the form table from the 1st of November, they're like 16th or something,
Have you seen that
15th,
Bournemouth are
somewhere
fifth
around there.
since January or something?
Since November, beginning
Really?
of
Since November.
1st of November,
That's
we're fifth in the
mental.
league. Yeah,
Mental.
but I mean, it just took time for the players to adapt to
So if you'd have
Iraola's
started a little
system.
bit better, you could have been Europa League potentially.
Yeah, but I'm happy with
Is
how
that a
it's
sign
playing
of things
out.
to come next season?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But, if we can keep hold of our best players and then strengthen in a couple positions, I think definitely we could push for Europe. Maybe not Europa League. I'd settle with Conference League next season.
No, would you? Yeah.
Yeah, but it could happen.
Uh,
Brighton did it.
I've seen a lot of people saying you should get manager of the year, but
Emery should get manager of the year, definitely.
you think, yeah.
Yeah, top four it's something that has rarely been done by a team that's not in the top six, right?
Didn't
It's
you have
like
a few injury
Newcastle.
worries as well? Did Semenyo go off?
Yeah, I mean, we had, I think it's 9 players out I mean, Brighton had a lot of injuries as well, but
Did someone get
we had
stretchered off though?
quite a few. Yeah, Semenyo got stretched off in like the
Semenyo.
last minute as well. It looks like it's probably his ACL, which means we probably won't see him until 2025,
So what do you want
which
to
is
see
just
in the summer
annoying.
then? What do you want to see
What
strengthened?
positions?
Yeah.
Goalkeeper, definitely. I think
You want Luton's keeper.
I think we could do better. I think there's Nice's keeper.
Mm.
He looks like he wants to move to the Premier League, so he's pretty good. I think if Tyler Adams is going to be that injury prone, I think we need another defensive midfielder
Has he played
probably.
at all this
And
season?
then yeah, he played like 2 games and then got injured
And then
again.
got injured again.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think Lloyd Kelly's going in the summer, so
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
he's
Where's
centre
he
back.
going to?
Don't know. It looks like Newcastle probably. But yeah, it just depends on who leaves in the summer. Like, I mean, it's been confirmed now that we're signing Unal on a permanent deal because he was only on loan for this season. So
I think Solanke stays, to be honest.
yeah, I think Solanke
I
stays as
think
well.
so.
I'm so happy about that. But apparently Wolves are looking to sign Lewis Cook, which I'm just like, I don't see him going to Wolves.
What is this? What is this new rivalry between Wolves and Bournemouth I'm seeing
I
everywhere?
don't even know. It's just like I just don't care about Wolves at all. I don't understand why.
Wolves fans hate Bournemouth.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. Maybe
I
it's
think it's
just
because you
because I
slag
don't
off
know.
Gary O'Neill, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, we don't. We just say that
You're like, oh, he's
Areola's better.
bullshit. Yeah.
That's just it. Like we prefer Areola to O'Neill all of a
Because
sudden.
like your like Twitter account put up like 48 points is a Premier League record.
All of the replies were Wolves fans.
And then the Wolves fans were like 48 points. What a tin pot club. I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
know. It's
I
all
was
of the
like, oh
replies are
my,
that, and I'm just like, okay, great.
the games are going to be spicy next season. New
Yeah,
rivalry,
I mean,
even though like you're nowhere near each other.
yeah, I know. It's like it's kind of become a bit of a meme on Twitter now, on Bournemouth Twitter, that apparently we're trying to force a rivalry with everyone, even though we're just not.
But you've definitely got rivalry with Wolves now, if you like it or not.
I just don't get it. I just don't get the rivalry with Wolves. It's like,
It's because of the manager, isn't it? That's why.
yeah, and because Alex
And you've
Scott
done
signed
better than
faster
them
rather
this
than
season.
them. Well, there's still a couple games left. They could still finish above us. We're only like 2 points above them or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but Wolves aren't playing that well. You're playing better than Wolves at the moment.
True. And they always complain that they've had injuries, but
Yeah.
every club has injuries. We've had a lot of injuries. Zabani missed his first game. He played every minute of every game up until the Brighton game, but he was ill, so he missed that
Oh,
one.
did he?
Yeah, which is a
Yeah, it's a
shame.
great win for Bournemouth, but Brighton have been absolutely appalling for a while now.
Yeah,
Seen
I
a lot
have
of
heard
fans
some
being very kind of downbeat about it.
I have heard some theories going about. These are just like conspiracy theories about De Zerbi, where because I mean, if you looked at his starting 11 that he played against us and his bench,
Yeah, I've seen that he's
he
putting
had
players in weird positions and things like that,
yeah,
and
and
not playing
he
his
had
best
like
team.
he put like I don't know how old he is, but the striker that they had on, they had Welbeck on the bench and they didn't have him on, and it's almost as if like De Zerbi's going to the higher ups at the club going, I mean, this is all I have. I've got so many injuries. You need to give me more money and more funds so I can
Mhm.
buy more players, even though he has the experience on the bench.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
It's
think
almost as
there's
if he
definitely some
gave up on
truth to
Europe.
that.
his lineups
I
are
mean,
strange.
he's wanted players, and he's been pretty vocal that he doesn't feel like he got backed in transfer window. I think especially January. So I mean, I think there's probably some truth to that theory, to be honest.
Sounds like something Scott Parker would do when he was at Bournemouth.
He had Lallana on the bench. Who do you think would start?
I mean,
Yeah,
to be fair,
if you
Lallana's
have that
been a
many injuries.
bench player for most of the season, really, though, isn't he? Even with the injuries.
Yeah, but I mean, Welbeck, I think you should probably start.
Yeah, Welbeck, you have to start Welbeck.
Veltman on the bench. Fatty, I think, is he coming back from an injury?
Yeah, well,
No,
and so is Veltman.
I just don't think he rates Fatty at all.
You don't. No, he's
I
not
think
really
it's
done it
part of
though, has
that,
he?
but
He's not really
you're
done
right.
it.
Yeah, even when he's not been injured, he hasn't really performed that much. Which is sad
Mm.
because he's a really nice guy, but just isn't really getting it done on the pitch.
No. Maybe
Give us
maybe
the
he doesn't
inside
like
knowledge
Brighton.
of which players are nice people and which players aren't.
But
Most of them are nice, to be honest.
I feel like Deserby's
Bati's
kind
probably
of
one of the nicer ones.
managed himself out of a big job in the summer.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
Because
it
he's,
feels that way.
I
Which
mean,
is,
even
I
if it's
mean,
not entirely his fault, I mean, it's still not a good look for a team. And if you're looking at Deserby, you're thinking his team's fallen off a cliff since Christmas.
I mean, yeah, it feels like he's given up on Europe now. Like, I mean,
Mm.
I don't think they can mathematically get into Europe now, but like the last couple of weeks, it's kind of just been really strange.
Seems like they just
Like,
can't wait for the season to end.
yeah, really strange
yeah,
decision. They're on the beach,
Yeah,
on Brighton
yeah,
Beach.
that I was saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Which I get.
that's
I
what
mean,
we
if you've
got
got
last
nothing to play
season.
for, it's hard to get up for games and stuff. But
But until
same,
recently, they had Europe to play for, but they weren't performing.
yeah. All right,
But I
so
guess that's the injuries.
good win for Bournemouth. Disappointing draw for United, and a kind of expected loss for Spurs.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what I
yeah.
sum that up as. And I think next, I think West Ham Liverpool was very entertaining.
Yeah,
And I
very good
think
game.
Mhm.
the biggest talking point of that game was Klopp and Salah arguing on the
Yeah,
touchline. Not a good look, was it?
no, don't
No,
know what that was about, but
Well, I
I guess it was
think
just about Salah not
Salah
starting.
Salah had been dropped, right? And then as he was coming on, Klopp kind of went to shake his hand, but
Yeah,
Salah he didn't shake his hand. He kind of just bumped his hand with a closed fist. And then Klopp kind of registered what had happened for like a moment, and then he went back over and said something to Salah, probably something like, "Who do you think you are?" or whatever. And then Salah just kind of lost it.
lost it. Yeah, and then
And then
of all people, Darwin Nunez.
after in the mixed zone, he was like, "If I speak, there'll be fire." So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think people took
yeah,
that as, I mean, you could take that either way. It could be he could be saying that, what Klopp said, there'll be fire, or him just saying anything will create fire. That it could be both interpretations, but
yeah. I mean, Liverpool just weren't on it against West Ham really at all.
no, I mean they went 1-0
Second
down,
half
didn't
they
they?
came out.
And then
Yeah,
yeah,
second half they came out and they did all right. I think the two best players for them were their fullbacks. Um, but just they had. It feels like I'm saying this every week, but they had their chances, but they just didn't. I mean, it took an own goal that came off three different players, three different West Ham players, and then one of their fullbacks to score. Like this,
yeah.
I
And
just
it
don't
looks like
think
Arnie Slot's been confirmed, right? That's happening,
pre- pretty
pretty
much.
much,
Yeah.
yeah.
which is I think is a risky decision, if I'm honest.
Here's an interesting question: which front three is worse? Is it Hoyland, Anthony, and Rashford, or Gakpo, Elliott, and Diaz?
Man United easily.
Yeah, by
Really?
far.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, on paper, you would probably say it's Liverpool, right? But performance-wise, I don't know how anybody could say
Performance
United is
wise,
better.
Rashford's been a no-show this season, pretty
Yeah,
much. Anthony's Anthony, and then Hoyland is very young.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
Whereas with
yeah. You don't
Liverpool,
rate
Elliot,
Diaz at all, though, do you, Liz?
he no, do you know what it is? It's just he's not Mane. That's what it is. So it's different.
Yeah,
It's difficult. It's like when we replace Son or someone. It's very hard to live up to that kind of player.
like Kane.
Yeah, they're not when a player is so good for a club and they get replaced. I remember Carragher saying that he would get rid of Salah over Mane, and I agreed with that at the time. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but obviously, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But Salah looks like he's going to stay for another year. I mean, I thought he'd leave at the end of the season, but it looks like he's going to stay for a year and then go to
Yep.
Saudi for a payday. Which obviously he's Egyptian, so he'll be a superstar over there, won't he?
Yeah, that's true.
mhm.
It's just, do Liverpool have like an injury crisis at centre back or something?
Um, Why was it
because
Van Dijk and who?
Konza,
Konza. No, I think Konate's just
Konza,
been poor.
because it did feel like he was out of his depth.
Yeah, but
Konza,
Konate looked like that against Everton.
yeah.
He was poor.
It's just
He was losing.
maybe I'm just the only
Calvert
thing I'm
Lewin
remembering
dominated
from
him.
the only thing
So
I'm remembering from that game
Klopp's tried
is
to switch it up, hasn't
Konza
he? Put
losing his
Konsa in,
man.
but also he made that mistake against, was it Arsenal? Or was it no, it was United, wasn't it? He made that mistake against United where he misplaced
Yeah,
the pass in the
Yeah,
FA Cup. Was it in
he.
the FA Cup? Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
he's still young, obviously, and he's a good defender, but like you can't be like for Mikel Antonio's goal, like he just kind of just stands there and Antonio just goes like peels off the back of him and scores. Like you can't really be doing that,
no,
but you know,
but I think Liverpool have overachieved this season. I think when you look at their actual team, I don't think they're anywhere near the level of City and Arsenal. So the fact that they were
yeah,
in the conversation until about 3, 4 weeks ago, I think Klopp's done an amazing job. I think it so shows how good of a
yeah.
manager he is that he got them in that position. They're nowhere near. You look at their front three and you look at their midfield, you know, they've
I mean,
got
the
some
whole
good
team
players in there.
really, right?
They're not, they're not what they
I
were.
think
And I think third's about where Liverpool should be. About third. I think that they are where they should be. So
yeah, and if you look at Liverpool's recruitment, like over the years, you got Van Dijk, you got Salah, and Salah was like 34 million or something, which is ridiculous.
yeah.
And that they had really good recruitment. I don't know if it's just me, but like the last couple of seasons, I don't know. I just
Well,
don't think.
there's a reason for that. Michael Edwards left, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, they're
Um,
getting.
he's coming
Uh,
back when Klopp leaves. So the thought process is that they had a massive falling out. So he left the club. Um, because Michael Edwards was responsible for the Salah signing.
yeah.
Klopp didn't want Salah. Klopp wanted Julian Brandt, which he managed at Dortmund.
To be fair, I
Um,
think that would have been a good signing
and
anyway.
Edwards didn't want Nunes either, and Klopp pushed for Nunes.
Yeah, and
Um,
they're also getting Richard Hughes, the
so it
sporting
looks like
director from
Klopp
us.
kind of
So
maybe got a bit too power hungry and wanted to start. Maybe his talent ID isn't the best. He needs someone else to do that for him. But the last
yeah,
couple of years, it's been Klopp that's been identifying players. And you can
yeah,
you can be a brilliant manager and not be great at because people that has specific roles to watch players, and that's their role. Managers might not be that good at talent ID. You know, they
yeah.
delegate that to somebody else. And it looks like the last couple of years, Klopp was doing the talent ID himself, which I'm not
Do you
sure.
think? Do you think Arteta's doing the talent ID at Arsenal? Or do you think there's someone else doing it?
I think there's a
Do you think?
team of them. I think he has a say, but I
Yeah,
think I think there's an Edu is part of that.
yeah,
I think there's a team. I think you have to have can't be one person because
yeah.
then
I mean, and Liverpool are adding Richard Hughes to that team, and I mean, I'm a big fan of Richard Hughes. Got us Ake, got us Solanke, got us
yeah.
a few good players. I mean, he
Yeah.
got us Iriola, so I mean, it's
We'll
going
have
to
to wrap
be
up this
interesting to
part
see.
because I'm going to run out of time. It's 40 minutes at a time.
Okay,
So join us for
we'll wrap
part
it up
two.
on yeah. This is just